Good afternoon. I'm Leigh Emory. I'm a candidate for the Board of Selectmen, and I'm going to give you a little background about myself and some of the reasons why I'm interested in running again for the board. I live here in Westboro. My family has been here for many generations. We have a farm that I live on with my two sons and my husband and my son's wives. We raise organic food on our farm, so I'm very interested in the environment, always have been since I grew up there. In terms of government background, I served on the Finance Committee for 10 years, and I've been on the Board of Selectmen for 14 years. So I'm the most experienced member of the board right now, and one of the reasons I feel that's important coming into the next term is because we have some very important initiatives that we'll be taking on, and I feel that my experience really gives me the type of background that we need for continuity. Two of the most important things are we'll be hiring a new town manager and a new DPW director. These two people will become part of our leadership team that includes our fire chief, our police chief, our finance director, and of course the town manager and the DPW director. And this team should be able to work probably for the next 10 years. We just hired the new police officer, the new police chief, and the new fire chief last year. I was on the search committee for the fire chief. So I really want to make sure that we get the right people to add to this team, and then have the first year kind of getting that team really working together and integrated for the benefit of the entire town. We also have a strategic plan that the Board of Selectmen worked on all this last year, and I would like to see some of those initiatives to fruition. And I'd like to give the continuity to that project. Also, I'm very interested in affordable housing. And by that, I don't mean just low-income housing, but affordable housing for people who work in Westboro, our school teachers, our firefighters, new couples that are just starting out. So I'd like to look at ways to encourage single-bedroom homes or housing, to work on a plan much as Grafton has, where we can take advantage of state grants to work on affordable housing. Speaking about grants, we just were able to get a grant from the state because we qualified as a green community. That was an initiative that I spearheaded as one of the selectmen and had a wonderful volunteer group. Pete Dunbeck chaired that. It was indispensable to that work. But through that qualification as a green community, we did receive $152,000 in money that we can use to work with DPW, the schools, and the senior center on improving their heating, their environmental impact. But the grant also gives us the ability to apply for competitive grants every year after for up to $250,000. So I would like to see that initiative continue and work on that. But as well as that, I would like us to consider becoming a member of the Community Preservation Act towns. There are 75 other towns and cities in Massachusetts that have received up to $626 million since that initiative was started, and I think that's something else that Westboro should be able to benefit from. And the money that you get from the Community Preservation Act can be used for preservation of historic buildings, for example, the library, to offset the cost of renovating the library. But it's also, most importantly, can also be used to fund affordable housing and outside recreation areas that everybody can enjoy. So that's an initiative that I would like to spearhead this coming year and perhaps get us in line for that kind of grant money in the following year. It usually takes about a year to get through that kind of thing. It has to go to town meeting, people have to accept it, and then embrace it and then move along. I'm also concerned, as I think everyone is, about our tax rate. In order to lower that tax rate, we would have to cut so much out of our budget that it would really be extraordinary. Our best strategic plan for that, I think, is to continue to try to bring in full new businesses and to really fill all of our vacancies. And for that, the EDC, the Economic Development Committee, is a key advocate for bringing new businesses in, and that's a group that I have been very, very supportive of and would continue to be supportive of that. So those are the four reasons, really, my main reasons for wanting to run again, that I think I bring the continuity and the experience needed to go forward and look for a new town manager and DPW director, to continue our very robust strategic plan goals. We have about 13 of those, to work on affordable housing for everyone, and to continue working on grants that can help us in many ways, not just affordable housing. The other things that I've done in the community, a lot of you may recognize me, but I've been on several other committees: the Council on Aging, the Library Building Committee, the Search Committee for the Fire Chief, the Green Technology Advisory Group, which is the one that got us into the green community status, Pay-As-You-Go Evaluation Committee, Water Resource Committee, and I've been liaison to the Water and Sewer Treatment Board. So I've had a lot of interactions with all of our department heads. I have very nice relationships with all of them, and feel that I'd like to continue working with them and as we move ahead. I'm a critical, inquisitive thinker. I'm not afraid to make difficult decisions. I'm usually pretty frank at our Board of Selectmen's meetings, if you've watched any of those. So I would like to be able to serve you one more term as your selectman, and I ask for your vote next Tuesday. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me.
Hi, I'm Bruce Treader, and I'm running for re-election to the Westboro Board of Selectmen. As a 22-year resident of the town, a former 12-year school committee member, and current chair of the Westboro Bike and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, which has been established since 2012, it's been a pleasure and a real thrill working as a team member on the Board of Selectmen, and also with our outstanding and compassionate town officials to first develop the town's first strategic plan, and then also establish annual town goals for the selectmen and also for the town manager, and establish and participate in our Diversity and Inclusion Committee to ensure that the town services we provide are provided equally to all of our residents. After all, this town belongs to all of us. Now, developing a strategic plan, setting annual goals, and attempting to explore different forms of town government were initiatives that I ran on in 2016, so 3 years ago, that once I became elected became initiatives for the whole board comprehensively. Now, studying the different forms of government was an initiative that kind of died a premature death. That happens. I voted to sustain that. The rest of the board decided to stop it, but that happens in democracy. I'm running for re-election now to make Westboro, most importantly, affordable to all by limiting our spending. And as a first step in that direction, mine was the only vote on the board very recently to ask that we not fund, well, actually, I voted against a proposal that would come before you at town meeting on March 16th. That's Saturday, March 16th at the high school. That initiative would have proposed or proposes to demolish and reconstruct Fales Elementary School at a total cost of $57 million, $45 million of which we would have to fund as taxpayers. The school definitely needs work. I've toured it. I'll be reading there right after I make this speech to the students. I'll also go to Armstrong. But the time, and then considering the taxes that we're already sustaining, the time, the taxes, and the money are just not right at this time. I'd also like to follow through on our newly created strategic plan goals. I'd like to promote Westboro's strength through united diversity, and I'd also like to ensure that we improve traffic flow and safety for all modes of transportation through the town. I love this town for what it is and where it's going. I love setting goals and then accomplishing them. And I love your support on March 5th when we vote here in town from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Westboro High School. I love your support and also your friends and family's support to continue serving on the board. Thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you on March 5th.
Hello, I'm Alan Falk in Edinburgh, and I'm a candidate for a seat on the Board of Selectmen. I want to thank Westboro TV for this opportunity to introduce myself and to thank you for taking time to watch. As a member of the Board of Selectmen, I hope to use my business and community service experience to help the town address the many issues and challenges we face and expect to face in the future. I am a serial entrepreneur and a technologist. My Westboro-based cloud computing firm has helped small businesses and local governments better communicate and collaborate and operate more efficiently throughout the U.S. I have helped launch and run 2 local nonprofits that serve Westboro and area towns, and am actively involved in several of our local community organizations and efforts. By nature, I am a problem solver. In business and personally, I focus on bringing people with differing opinions together, understanding the viewpoints and the priorities, and helping them reach consensus. I hope that these skills will help me serve well as a selectman for the benefit of the town. I've spent the last year plus attending meetings and watching on TV our town boards and committees operate. I see a remarkable commitment to service. And as I've been meeting with department heads and staff and other members of the community to learn more, I continue to see and learn about services essential to our quality of life, many of which are not always visible to the public. I do, however, see areas in which we could do better. The first is affordability. Ensuring Westboro is affordable for all of our residents is more than just dollars and cents. We want and need to ensure that we maintain the scope and quality of the services that we enjoy as residents. We cannot address and fix our residential property tax issues by only focusing on spending. We need to also increase non-tax revenues and expand our commercial tax base. In this vein, I see missed and underutilized opportunities to secure funds for projects from state, federal, and regional sources. We have been leaving money on the table that we could be using instead of our tax dollars. During my campaign, I've raised questions about policies and practices for managing free cash, reserves, short-term and long-term debt, and I've been sharing these ideas with others. These conversations have already spurred some new ideas and other conversations around town that can have an impact in the future. We have opportunities to expand our commercial tax base. With well-planned and targeted zoning changes, we can encourage new development and redevelopment of existing sites, adding businesses that contribute to both the real property tax, and the personal property tax that commercial and industrial businesses pay. With community involvement, these changes can make it easier for businesses to move into town and grow while still respecting our residential neighborhoods, minimizing congestion, and protecting our quality of life. To do that, we need citizen engagement. Westboro benefits when residents are engaged and involved in town affairs. As a selectman, I will work to improve the quality and timeliness of communications and information that comes from the town. I think we can do a better job recruiting residents with subject matter expertise and a broader range of residents to participate on boards and commissions. And I'd like to expand our inclusion efforts to involve the growing diversity in our community and to do so in more meaningful ways. I do live and do work in Westboro. I'm a residential and a commercial taxpayer. So I feel the impact of our current property tax levies, and I see the impact, particularly for those on fixed incomes, of the current imbalance that we have. By increasing citizen engagement, by considering new ideas and approaches, and by taking full advantage of the resources available to us, we can do better. I appreciate your support and your vote on March 5th. I look forward to serving the town and all of its residents. Thank you.